What up, Internet? I am the PCGoblin. And in today's video, we're going to be taking a high-level look at the ezMaster software for EnGenius. Now, this software is what you use to manage a bunch of their products all at once. It can be run on several different devices. It can be run on AWS, it can be run on a VM on one of your servers somewhere, it can run on that server or your PC, or it can run on the Skykey. If you want to know more about this, look for my upcoming video about it. But without going into too much detail before we actually start the video, let's go ahead and get to it. The default username is admin, the default password is password. Go ahead and punch that in and log in. Alright, now that we've logged in, this is what we're greeted with. We haven't set anything up, so there's really nothing here to show. So this is your home screen. And then we can click on project to see our projects. We'll go back to this in a minute, but your project is basically your site. So you can set up multiple projects or multiple sites with this to manage. Now, it doesn't have to be a site. You can just have different networks inside your house or in your business or whatever. You can set up the project or site and configure whatever EnGenius devices that you have into that project and then manage it through that. But like I said, we'll come back to that in just a minute. Going to the settings, we've got the admin account. This is where we can change the password. We can put in our name, email address, phone number, or whatever. Account management lets us create new users to add into it. Test user, password. Show that real quick, and then I can save it. That was created successfully. And there it is. I'll be able to log in with test user to manage or log into my Skykey. So fairly simple. Go ahead and remove that. Then preferences, we can change which default ports it uses. I would suggest using the default, but if you're in a big business and you need to use different ones, obviously you'll know what to change those to. Event log, this is where it's going to show everything that's happening on the Skykey. Client log, this is going to show all the clients that log into it. Email alert, you can set it up to email you alerts about what's happening, so system status, SSL certification, device management, status, configuration, firmware upgrade, wireless client info. You can set it up to log remotely. You can back up and restore ezMaster. ezMaster is the name of the software that manages everything. You can reset or reboot ezMaster. You can set your time zone. I'm in Mountain Time, so that's set. You can set up remote access, so you can access it from the EnGenius cloud. We'll get to that a little bit later as well, but you're going to want that enabled. Wireless, we can set it up to background scan all the frequencies to see if people are on it or if there's rogue APs. You can enable auto transmit power for the different radios. And then connectivity test. This lets you just see if your network's set up for you to be able to access this via the cloud or even with inside your network. So, got a good internet connection, got DNS setting, gateway setting, controller port, network connection, TCP port, UDP port. It's all good. I had to set up a port forward for one of these so I could connect to it, but that was easy. And then this tells us the current ezMaster version, the current system version, and then you can upload a different image if you've got that. So we have a couple updates that we need to do. For this, we've got the two devices that need it. So ezMaster is our management software. It has an update, and then my access point has an update. I'm going to hit select all, hit update, and this is what it looks like. Obviously, I've sped it up for you guys, but this is what it does. So that's how you update it. It's really quick and easy. And then map view, you're going to have to come in here to install the plugin so you can use the map view that we'll see a little bit later when we set up the project. And then device inventory, this is where you can go in and add your inventory. Now that we've gone through all the settings for the specific cloud key, now we can go ahead and set up our network or our project or site, whatever you want to call it. So I'm going to come over here to projects, create new project. I'm going to call it home. My home. And this is generally for businesses and enterprise customers, so you're probably going to name this like the site. So if you're in Atlanta, Georgia, it'll probably be Atlanta, whatever. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit apply, and it's going to go ahead and create it. So it automatically takes us to the device config, because what's the point of setting up a project if you have no devices to manage? So I'm going to go ahead and add my one EnGenius AP. This is my Wi-Fi 6 access point. So I'm going to go ahead and click add. Hit OK. Now, before you add it, this is what you use to manage your access points. And once this is actually registered with the Skykey, this is going to change and be a lot more basic, because all of this, or most of this, is all going to be done through ezMaster on the Skykey. So once this is done, we'll see over here how this is different. Looks like it's done with the access point, but we'll make sure. Yep. Set to online as that loads. And if we refresh this, as you can see, we lost a lot of options that we could do on side of this access point. So device status, management, log. Anyways, going back to ezMaster. So we can go ahead and reboot the access point from here if we wanted. I don't want to. If we click on device name, we can come into the settings for that access point. Name it what we want. Set up a new username and password for the admin for it. And we can come in here and set up a static IP for it if we need to. I have it set up for a DHCP, so all good with that. If you have these access points, the EWS 500 and EWS 510 access points, you can configure the LAN point settings. Here's where we go to configure our wireless radio settings. So whether we're going to use 80 megahertz, 40 megahertz, 20 megahertz, etc. You can configure the channels if we want to have default or a specific channel that we want it to run on. We can change the transmit power to be as strong as possible or run auto. I just run auto. It runs great like that. Set up client limits. And you can come in here to set up your different wireless networks on it. I've got my 2. So this is my 5 gigahertz network. And then this is my 2.4. I always run on the 5. For advanced settings, all of these are the LED controls, so if you don't want any LEDs, you're going to set these to all disable. If you want just the LAN LED to light up, or the 2.4 gigahertz light, or the 5 gigahertz, go ahead and enable those. And then you can set your RSSI threshold. You can set up your management VLAN if you want to or need to. And then you just hit apply. It adds all those settings to your access point, and you're good to go. So if you had an EnGenius switch, this is where you'd see the switch. And then any EnGenius devices that haven't been added to this, that aren't configured for a different Skykey or ezMaster, whatever, will show up here. So going to device management gives us a very brief overview of what we've got. So I've got one access point. They're all online or active. Tells me the project name that it's under. Device config, this is where we were just at. AP groups. Now, if you've got several EnGenius access points that you want to configure, this is where you're going to want to go. You're going to want to come in here, create a new group. Floor 1 APs. So we'll just say this is all the access points on floor 1. And you can set up your web administrator account if you want. Can't have special characters. Alright, come in here and add the access points that you want to be part of this group. And then once again, this is for those 2 specific access points. Configure your wireless radio settings for it. And then WLAN settings, so the different SSIDs that you're going to have, or the different wireless networks you're going to create. And then advanced settings, same thing as we saw before. Hit apply, boom, it's going to apply it to all those access points, nice and easy. I don't want to do that because I just have the one access point. So if you're going to set up mesh access points, this is where you got to do it, and you've got some diag tools to help you with that. And then you can set up your Wi-Fi scheduler right here. And then you can have it auto reboot whenever. You can say when you want it to run. So you can have it available just daily, everything but the weekends, or set up your own schedule. etc., and which SSIDs to apply that to. That's actually really good for security. I may actually do that for my home network. That's pretty awesome. And then, of course, you've got to choose which access points you want to be part of this. So you add in your access points, hit cancel, or hit it, or add your access points, then hit apply. It'll set that up for you. Then monitoring. Here we can see the active clients that we have on this network, or which SSID it's running on and what band, how much traffic it's been sending and receiving. This is where we're going to go to see a rogue access point. And then if you want a topology, you need the switch, and then it's going to go ahead and tell you how it's all set up. I wish I could show you, but I don't have an EnGenius switch yet. And then this is map view. So this is somewhere. I could have it locate me, but I don't want you to know where I live, so I'm not going to do that. And then if you've uploaded floor plans to it, this is where you can do it. You can hit upload image, or you can go to upload floor plan. And then this will show you your mesh setup as you've got it configured, but I don't have enough to do a mesh, plus I hate mesh. But that's a whole nother subject to go into. So going to statistics, we'll go to access points. So it's just showing us our top 10. And then we can choose the access points we want to see in it. But I've only got the one, so whatever. There's not a whole lot of traffic going on with this, so we're not going to see anything. You can change it up to 1 week. And then we've got wireless clients. Don't really have any other than that one that's set up for it, but this is where we'll see the data for that it's, or the traffic data that it's doing. We're not going to see what sites it's accessing or whatever. And then finally, we can see the real-time throughput. Choose our access point. And here we'll see traffic going through it. Let me switch my phone to it real quick so you can see what it looks like. There we go. Starting to see some traffic happen. We just get a little line showing us where it's at. Hotspot service. If we want to have hotspots, we can set up our captive portals right here. Set up a guest account. And then maintenance. Now here, if we have multiple devices that need to be updated, we can come up here, or come in here, upload the file to update it with, and then choose all the devices we want it to update with. I've already got this one installed. See, you can see 3.6.7, 3.6.7, C 1.9.3, C 1.9.3. And if we can do the same thing for our switches, if we have multiple switches to update. And then this is where we go to set up our AP remote logging server, if we have one of those. And then coming back to our home screen, this is what it looks like when you actually have a project set up. So let's say we're not on site and have direct access to our Skykey, but we have it set up so we can access it with the EnGenius Cloud. We're going to want to go to cloud.engenius.ai, punch in your EnGenius Cloud username and password. And then this is what we're greeted on the top part. But if you don't have any EnGenius Cloud devices, you're not going to see anything right here. So to get to your Skykey, you're going to want to come down here to this little icon, click that, and then you can go ahead and connect to your Skykey. And here we go. Exact same thing that we saw and just went through. Well, that's it for this video. I hope it was helpful, or at the very least, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead and hit that like button. And hopefully you want to see more of my stuff, so hit that subscribe button so you can see upcoming videos. And thank you so much for watching, guys. I appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.